Is like the
When
first
I'm
shit to
done with
mention.
the Grand Cherokee, I'm buying a truck. So do you, boo boo?
I'm really nah, man. So I'm really leaning
Sick.
into electric. I want electric next, right? I really want electric.
Mm.
I'm not sure what that means yet, but I want electric. Also,
I want
though, like
electric, dog. I just don't like my options right now.
I want electric, right? And I like my options, but I know what the options the cost. I know what my options cost, the ones I want. Uh, but also like I'm fucking like opposite of spectrum, right? Because I either want electric or I want that
Oh,
Jeep.
gas.
I want that like
The
that
Jeeps are
the
sick.
fucking yeah.
It's
I
because
agree.
Jeeps are a way of life, dog. And yeah, I mean, you're not really a outdoor guy, dog. So I think the safe bet would be
Hey, I don't even need to be out there, guys. I just trying to
You're an
stunt.
outdoor guy because
I'm
you
just
have
trying to stunt on the Jeep. That's why I could go to Griffith Park, dog. That's as far as I'm go. I got to Griffith Park, dog, and get in the grass. Ooh, shit! Watch out.
the pros about Jeeps, dog, is those shits literally won't get stuck anywhere, dog. You could be in snow, in mud, any terrain.
Yeah,
Like at
you
a
know what I mean.
70-degree angle, you're straight. Like
You
you're
never know,
getting out.
dog.
Hey, Masa, what's a little smaller than the Durango?
Ooh, the Grand Cherokee, what I have right now.
Car too, though.
But if you're gonna go big, dog, like the Durango is a full size SUV.
Yeah, no, it's too big for me.
I don't know.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy, dog.
I was thinking about that for Alice because she wants 7
Durango?
seats. Yeah, Durango's sick, dog.
Ooh, ya te está dejando. Ew, she's leaving signals, dog.
What you mean, dog?
Yeah.
Get that.
No
Get
more
that.
babies.
Get that. Yeah, what up, Cray? Happy New Year, Papi Manny. Happy New Year. What up, little Apple? Hey, man.
Oh,
Sorry
shit.
for your loss, Papa. I'm glad you're here with us.
Yeah, what up?
Victor, what's
What's
good?
up?
What's good? How y'all doing, man? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thanks for fucking with us. You guys missed us?
Did y'all know that we lived? Did y'all know that we were here? Y'all knew that we existed? We kind of forgot we existed.
Yo,
Y'all thought we quit, huh? We ain't no quitters here.
we in the galaxy yet. Hit that like button one time. See, Glenn, man, that's why I fucks with you, baby. Happy New Year. How you doing, puppy? Hey, you seen that too, Logan? Yeah, we about to talk about it, man. We had a whole spiel about Piojo or Vanny and you know, that got scrapped right now. Yo,
Up the #1 Galaxy podcast. Yeah, so we still decided to come back another year, boys.
Get the Nissan Quest. Psych, dog.
Quest?
Nissans are booty. Don't do it.
I'm looking at the Cherokee. Dog.
Nah, don't get the Cherokee. I'll tell you right now. Do not get that piece of shit car.
Why not?
Oh, that the Cherokee, the Grand Cherokee, yes.
Oh, the Grand Cherokee. Never mind.
No.
Yeah,
Get the Grand Cherokee.
no. Yes. Trust me, dog. You do not want a 2.4 cylinder vehicle from FCA. Blur my face, dog. I'm gonna get fired for that.
See, man, this is the energy I'm fucking with, right? I got fucking Glenn and fucking Cray asking people to hit the like button. I fucks that. I fuck with that. Yo, real quick, we got about 11 minutes. Let's recap that 2020 F1 season real quick. You know, the pre-shows of F1 show. So let's talk about this.
Baby.
Let's talk about Checo, baby. Yo, it was that win, huh? It was that win that was like, okay, track.
The whole season, it was like constant performances where he's been fucking super solid. And it was like, yo, like I was like at the beginning of the season, I was like, man, this man is too aggressive sometimes for his own good, because he'll kill his like momentum or whatever. But this year he closed out. Like this year he's like, yo, I'm a top driver. Like I need a seat.
So I watch there's a YouTube page, YouTube channel called What the F1. Really dope. It's like really funny, but they talk a lot and they talk like layman's terms. So it's not like these guys talking about like the super in-depth shit, right? It's just layman's terms. And they put up a graph on how after the 9th race, like the step up on racers. And given that the Checo was in the midfield, but he had like 900% increase in results over the last 8 races, right? Yeah. And you know, like you can't compare him to like Lewis didn't have the big of like a uptick because he's winning all the fucking races. You can't get much better than that, right? But as midfield, he had like 900% increase. Where like you had like Science or you had was my boy Danny, like they had like 80-90% increase, which is still good, but like Checo just fucking like another level. And I'm so happy he got with Red Bull. I really wanted it. I didn't think it was gonna happen though. I didn't think.
I know. We had talked about it, right? And I was like, the only leaving Racing Point, it was the only upgrade there was Red Bull. There's no up from there. Like you're already at the highest, like,
but we knew
not necessarily the highest in the middle of the pack, but
we knew he
What'd
was
you say?
leaving Parker. We knew he was.
Yeah, we knew he was Racing Point, but the thought was that he was gonna go a year without racing because there wasn't really the only other options were like going to teams that were not competing, like at the midfield or. So like it didn't make sense for him. But Max, Checo, Lewis, and fucking and Vettel, like Bottas. I mean,
nice rivalry.
But I'm like for real. I think the better drivers are at Red Bull right now. I don't think they have a better car, but I think they have the better drivers though.
Well, next year,
Lewis go.
Oh, next year's gonna be interesting because it's gonna be supposed to be a level playing field. That's it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be dope.
You know what? I want to shout out my boy George Russell, though.
Yeah, him. Man, I was so hurt.
Right car, bro. When he was in the right car, man. Yo,
I was so hurt by that puncture, bro.
Low key, I'm dropping Bottas, though.
Right? Drop Bottas 2022. Bring Russell in. I mean, like Russell when he got that chance. When Lewis got COVID, when he got a chance, he drove better than Bottas.
Yep.
Right? Like that'd be interesting. 2021 is gonna be dope though. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's gonna be hopefully there's a title challenge, and I think the midfield is gonna be dope too, right? You have fucking Danny and my boy fucking Lando Norris. Yeah, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good.
Alonso is making a comeback too.
Yeah, he's at
my boys, dog. We were not boys.
No, yeah, that's right.
Who's we? Who's we?
3 minutes. Nah, man. These fools they never hopped on. We had the league going for 2019, and then when 2020 came out, like not everybody copped it. So hopefully these was copped like right now when it goes back to being like $30, and we'll get a.
I mean, I got it.
The season going.
You got it, right? My boy Hector got it.
Oh, I'm telling you, let's start the season. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. That's just fun. What up? Who else in the chat? What up, Madam Serrano? I don't know. Say what's up to you. How y'all doing? How was the New Year's? Yo, actually, you know what? Before we get the show started, most of you guys know Big Will. Willie, the big homie. He's been one of the guys who fucked with us from the jump. I'm talking about when we're shitty audio, like shitty video the whole night. He's been fucking with us heavy, and we don't ask.
He's been fucking with us.
Yeah,
in general.
Yeah. Like, I know we know my man for over 10 years. Yep. He just lost his mom's. Real fucked up, but he has a GoFund right now because he's trying to send his mom back to Salvador and get a proper burial. We have the link for the GoFund in the description right now. Please do us a favor and donate anything you can. We, as Straight from the Stands, we don't ask you guys to purchase anything or to give us any kind of money, but we really, really appreciate it. You fuck with us, then you fuck with Big Will. Send them whatever you can, $5, whatever you can. We really appreciate it, my man. Fucked up way to start the year. Let's try to help him out and take something out of his back right now. So I appreciate that if you guys can. Share that too if you can. Mad love is G-Fam, so let's look out for each other. 2020 vision. What up, Straight from the Stands? It's been a minute. Just jumped on. Glad to see you out here putting in work. Yeah, man. Listen, we just had a conversation before we went live about how last year was a little weird for us because, COVID, right? It was weird for everybody. We managed to get some content out that we didn't expect to get out with all the interviews and stuff like that, which we really enjoyed. But like throughout the season, we kind of fell off and it just wasn't us. It wasn't what we were used to. So we couldn't, we never really got the full track of it. We're trying to start 2021 off strong and just be here every Monday, regardless whether we're in the stands or watching it on TV with the rest of you guys. We're going to try to be here every Monday. Season starts, we're going to try to hit you with the tailgate every single game. That's the intentions. Again, we'll see how it goes, but our intention is definitely to be here consistently this whole year since we didn't do as much last year. Right, we should have 21 likes. Yeah, that's right. Hey, keep punking them until hit the like, though. Keep punking them until they hit the like. How was your New Year's? You guys do anything?
Chill.
Nah.
Yeah,
same.
Chill?
Yeah, I actually worked on the 31st, and then I was off the 1st, and I went to the snow with the kids and the wife, and then I had to go back to work on Saturday, Doug. So that's how 2021 started for me. Just work.
Making money? Shit. Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. Make that money. Hey, Logan, it's all good, man. But if you could hit us if you could share that link, maybe somebody else could. You know what I mean? We appreciate that.
Listen, as long as you can share the link, spread the word,
Yeah,
hit
man.
them up. Even hit
Yeah,
them
man,
up.
just-
Sometimes a word helps out more than anything.
Yeah, no sweat, guys. No sweat if you guys can't. If you don't have the money for it now, it's everybody's in a situation. 100% get that. But if you guys can share that, I appreciate it. We'll plug it again before the show ends. But for all you guys who jumped in early and are over here chatting with us, just kind of giving us a sec to check that out. Yeah, man. I was a little bummed about that. You know what I mean? But hopefully we get them some support and get that done. Hey George, when are we getting that PlayStation 5 though?
Huh?
When we're getting that PlayStation 5 though? Check it as a shit.
No internet. No, I don't
No
know.
internet. You feel?
I can't hear. I can't hear you, dog.
No internet.
Yeah, I'm a dumbass. Damn.
Hey dog, when are we getting that shit though? Let me get the tracking. Let me get the tracking info though.
Nah. Relax. I think they returned the money.
Explanation.
Yeah, give us a backstory. Give us a backstory to that.
So listen, PlayStation dropped. I've been trying to get it since it dropped. No luck. I gave up, right? Because like I tried so many times, I just gave up. Like fuck it, I'm just gonna wait for him to be readily in stock, and I'll just pick it up when that happens, right? And I was good with that. Right? All right, I'm lying too, because like the December 22nd, I still tried, failed, but I was good with it. Right? I was good with it. I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna get a PlayStation until they're until I could go to a store or order online without a problem. Whatever, boom. Christmas Eve comes around, we're chilling with the family. I'm not expecting anything because I know the situation with everybody, so I'm not expecting anything. I'm chilling. I give bullshit gifts. Only kids got gifts. P.S. If your kid got a gift from us, it's a Gap sweater. Talk to our friends. Make sure all the kids don't wear Gap sweater the same day. It doesn't look like an ad, but whatever. So I'm chilling, and it gives me this 1, 2, 3 came through again with the dope ass hoodie, so I'm really hyped about it. And it's a paper, and there's something else. Check it out, and it's a receipt for the PlayStation 5. So my wife Anna, she came through big. But it wasn't by herself. George and Rooney were helping her out. So the actual PS5 is going to send to George's house. And George is kind of having second thoughts on actually, handing it over. Handing it over.
It was funny because when we secured the PS5, I in our group chat I sent Rooney and Rudy a message talking about, hey, let's make a group only for PS5 users. You could tell I know when Rudy's like, and something's bugging, something's don't. I know those were like hitting him a little bit extra because he was trying. My man was trying.
Yeah.
We have like bots help. We have like lots of things helping us, like alerting us when everything goes on. He was just swinging and missing, swinging and missing.
It was like me at Topgolf. It was like me at Topgolf, though.
Yeah, but you could die.
I was on the edge too.
You were gonna die here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but so now I'm kind of like being best friends with George, trying to play nice with him. So, you know what I mean? You need anything? You need anything? You hungry? What you need? You're close now, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, man. We're about a minute away. Again, thanks for everybody who was in here early. Thanks for everybody who's sharing that tweet, donating whatever they can. Really appreciate it. Listen, go ahead and comment and shoot us questions throughout the show. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. It's going to be a real relaxed show today where we're just going to have having these conversations. So feel free to shoot questions. We'll try to get you in here as the show goes, as well as having a questions section at the end if we have enough questions for it. But let's get it started.
Yo, what up? And welcome to another episode of Straight from the Stands, an unapologetic, unofficial LA Galaxy podcast, hosted by 4 Foul-Mouth supporters who bring you their thoughts and views on everything related to LA Galaxy, straight from the stands. I am your co-host Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, his counterpart level-headed George, and the man with the facts, Masa. This is Straight from the Stands.
I figured this out. I promise I figured it out. You had to see all 3 seasons, but I figured it out. Good evening. Welcome to 2021. How you guys doing? Actually, hold up a second. They can't hear you though. I didn't add this to here. So we're gonna start all over again. Not even apologizing. Give me a second. We're not doing the whole intro, but I'm gonna add this capture for this. So that's assisting the score.
I am smart.
There you go. There you go. Let's try this again. Good evening, 2021. How you guys doing?
What up?
Masa,
Talk to me.
how you doing, baby? 2021. You? What's good?
Same me, dog.
Sock check, fool. George, how you doing, puppy? Hey, wait a minute. Let's talk about this, right? You got some like Snapchat filter going on because you're lighting nice, your image real sharp. What you doing?
Listen, I can finally use the PC that I built in July for this podcast, which is the whole reason. Now Arya has transitioned into her own room finally. So
Yo,
Arya, no. So now look at this. The lighting looks nice. Everything looks amazing.
talk to me about this though. I know you're ready for it, but have you missed her yet? Like being in the room, or you good?
Hell
Done?
no.
No.
Hell no. No, so
It's good.
You can see this behind me, the bed. So these two screens kind of put together. So I have like a nice little 40-inch here. So I'll be watching
Yeah.
TV. Listen, life's beautiful.
You good? You good?
Life's beautiful.
That's dope. It looks good. It looks good. So
Thank
that's tight. All right, boys. Let's get into it again. If you were here in the pre-show, we talked about how it's gonna be a real chill episode where we're just gonna have conversations about shit's going on with the galaxy. We didn't put out an episode the last few weeks. Actually, the last thing we put out was the Megapod. So we haven't been back since the Megapod. We're not gonna go that back because we have other pods, Nag Boys, Corner of the Galaxy, and Eleazar House, everybody else covering it. So I'm pretty sure you heard the news that we haven't talked about. So let's just talk about what's current. And again, it's gonna be real chill. And let me start off with this, right? So I don't know if you guys must remember there was talks about like AJ being a possibility to come back to the team. I personally thought it was a good idea. All right, I know he wasn't needed, but I think he knows a lot about the club. He's there with he was there when we had the dope runs, dope teams. I felt he could have brought a lot into the dressing room more than he would have done in the field. But I thought it was a good pickup. But we're hearing that he's gonna go reunite with Bruce. What do you guys think? Like, and again, I don't think it's confirmed. I know I read it off of SBI Soccer. Some credibility to that. What do you guys think? Like, you think the Galaxy should have done a little better on trying to bring him in, or is it just a lost cause? What do you guys think?
Listen, I personally don't think that AJ was ever a possibility. Just hearing it from him and just talking about it, and last year it was an attempt to come in and all that. I knew it wasn't happening, not because of the coach, but directly because of the FO. And I think the FO kind of cut ties with that and kind of turned their back, regardless of who's in the coach seat, which we'll get to. But I personally never saw it happening, which sucks because I feel that he would have been a great asset to the team. Not only now, imagine he's the young guy that won a championship with the Galaxy. Now he could be considered a veteran or an old head to be teaching people like Julian Araujo, which things which you're gonna tell yourself like, well, what's AJ gonna teach Julian? AJ's been in the league longer. It's things that you learn with time, not with skill. And it would be a perfect fit. But sadly, I don't think our FO's mind is in that direction. And listen, if your FO is not thinking that way, and Bruce Arena is thinking that way, and he took that New England team to where they got him, we're doing something wrong. We have
it seems that it definitely seems that way. Masa, what you think about that?
I mean, I'm not mad at AJ, dog. He's gonna play playoffs next year. We who knows what we gonna? Who knows what we do?
Listen, 100% is nothing on AJ, right? Like, I mean, I don't think we express interest, and the Revs, Bruce, knowing who he is, express interest. It's not an AJ, but I'm saying, what do you think of? I mean, where you stand on this? Do you feel like we should have probably looked at trying to bring him in, or you're cool even if he,
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
We have no depth in defense right now. So
and we'll talk about it. I was looking at that.
Experienced defender with championships behind his belt. Sounds like a really smart move to me, but it is what it is. It doesn't happen for a reason.
And you know what? I think for me, I think a lot of it had to do with what George said, right? If you look at Araujo, I think he could learn a lot from AJ, and not necessarily like on skill wise. I think Araujo, he has like his natural instincts as a out wide back. But I think he can learn a lot about like the picardia, the little things that AJ has, right? I mean, AJ is a small dude, and he was a boss at center back, right? Like he can learn a lot from that. Same thing for Traore, and even some of our fucking center backs can learn from AJ, right? So I kind of wanted to bring him in as really that kind of mentor for like some of the youth we have with some of the promising youth. Unfortunately, like George was saying as well, like doesn't seem like our FO is has that in mind at all, which
and he wanted it. That's what sucks.
Oh, we wanted it. You know what I mean? Like the community wanted it. The fans wanted it. Like
the best thing for him, which I'm happy for, is going with Bruce.
Yeah, man.
And
I think Bruce grooms him too, right? Bruce grooms him like in case he wants the next step to be a coach.
Yeah.
Bruce grooms him for that too. Which I mean, for AJ, like again, AJ, he's been on our show. Small flex. AJ's been on our show. And it's a guy that we love, right? Like personally, like we love him, and I know the Galaxy community as a whole, like fucks with AJ. So it would have been dope. But again, happy for him. I think things gonna end up in the right place or in a good place for him if that actually comes through. Let's move on. You guys seen the debacle with fucking with Corona? He goes to Austin, psych. He goes to Houston. Like, listen,
Austin didn't come to a contract agreement, so he was like, oh, "Okay." So then Houston was like, "Well, then we could pick him up since they never came to an agreement with Austin."
But and that's what's confusing to me, right? Like, was it Austin being like, "All right, cool, like we're good then," or was it like the continuation, and then he was still involved in the re-entry draft re-entry draft? Like that's what confuses me. That's what I didn't understand because it happened pretty soon. It was like bang bang, right? Like so I expected we'll take you. They didn't negotiate the way they wanted to, or it was ongoing. And then the next thing I was like, he's in Houston. Like for me, legit, it was like I seen a picture of like him in green and black, and then a couple days later I saw a picture of him in orange and black. I was like,
it switched up quick.
Yeah, it was real quick. So that's the debacle. That's MLS laws, right? It's MLS. That's not really surprising.
You know what's gonna happen, though, right? We're gonna play Houston, and Corona's gonna at least score.
No. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Hey, 2021 is positivity. I ain't trying to hear your bullshit.
Hey, all last year, all we said was positivity, and look what the fuck happened to the world.
Chill, man. I ain't man. I'm bugging. All right. But Joe Corona moving. Talk to me. How do you guys feel about that? Like, is that somebody who you're okay with moving on? Are we gonna miss him? Was he good enough for us?
I'm okay with him moving on. It just felt like I would have preferred he stayed, to be honest, just because he's a midfielder that does a little bit of everything, and when he plays, he's giving it 100%. So yeah, I'm gonna miss him. Do I think we can get someone better? Possibly, but I mean, he's another one of those players with that, like, who's won something elsewhere, and we don't have too many of those on this team. So to me, it hurts to lose him.
I think to every point that Massa just added, and also that camaraderie that they have with that midfield, especially you need people that are close to Jonah. It is what it is. As of right now, he's our player. You need people that be able to work with him, to be close with him, to be friends, and now
to build a locker room, right?
Unless we're getting someone that is known to Jonah or good friends or whatever it is.
Gio, we're gonna get Gio, baby.
Maybe, I feel like, and then even then, I feel like we're starting back from square one. But I think Massa hit it. It sucks to see him leave. I think we could get someone good, but there were some points last year where we were saying he was the best midfielder during a game.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, right? You guys know I've been on the side of the players. I've been on the side of like last year was fucked up year, and I gave a lot of slack because of that, right? With that being said, I don't think Corona ever really showed who I thought Corona was, right? Like I seen him both at Club America and I seen him in TJ. And in his characteristics was something I thought were really gonna shine here in the Galaxy. He was decent. And I think last year when we said he was one of the best midfielders we had, for that stretch, is also like not necessarily, the quality wasn't as high, right? In general. So I'm okay with that. Also because we talked about how we kind of like legit paired up with Jonah in the midfield, right? We've seen that connection between them two, where you're not asking legit to move forward and kind of just sit in that pocket. And he does better there, right? So maybe we see that also it kind of pushes us to looking for a creative midfield, a cam that we need, right? On top of that, there's Sasha who signed for another year. So and we saw what he does coming off the bench. So I'm okay with it. I think. Listen, we talked about we can't have exodus. We can't have this mass dump of players. But it does seem like there's a avenue where we could release or could get rid of a lot of players and getting rid of Corona. Joe Benny, as much as again, I agree with both of you guys that he has some qualities and I do like him in general. It also opens up like that salary space and in that spot, right? In the midfield, where last year we had a lot of players, but nobody really doing anything. Not necessarily mad at it. I wish him the worst in Houston, to be honest, though. I'm not even gonna lie. Next up, right, we had this conversation. It was gonna be dope. It's gonna be got Piojo, Vanny, like, who we're fucking with. And of course, the G's are the G's, and surprise, they spill the beans.
Let's say how it is. We know a lot of people in the FO. We said we're going live. They said let us drop this. Enjoy.
Yeah, pretty much. If you haven't caught this, go check out Galaxy's Twitter. They dropped a hype video, and if you look at it very closely, Glenn, if you hit me with what minute it was, if you remember, you see Greg Vanny walking through the corridors by the cups. I mean, pretty much confirmed, right? We're getting Vanny as a coach, unless they pull some Porter shit and we don't see him again. He goes to Columbus, some shit like that.
In a hype video, he was just seen with
no. For me, I think pretty much confirms it. Reactions. Let's talk about it. What do we like about it? Are we skeptical at all? Let's talk.
All right. Are we going the Piojo versus Vanny, or we're just Vanny?
Nah, I think Vanny's the guy. So let's talk about Vanny. Okay. What do we like about it? What do we don't?
Listen, I'm all for it. I'm completely all for it. If I had to choose between Piojo and Vanny, it was always going to be Piojo. But with that being said, I'm not the type of person that just because the guy I didn't just because the guy that I wanted didn't get chosen. I'm not going to shit on this player. I'm not going to shit on this coach just because he's a G. At the end of the day, he's a G. I'm not going to give him a hard time. I'm not going to be sarcastic. I'm not going to be a piece of shit with him because at the end of the day, he's a G. We need to be doing that. We need to be supporting this type. So all in on Vanny. Fuck it. I don't agree with it, but personally, I'm going to be all in. Okay. And you have to understand, you have to give this man time. If we think that he's going to come in and we're going to win a cup first year, we're being really, really optimistic when it comes to that. And I don't think it's going to happen. But I like it. I saw what he did with Toronto. I feel he could have had a little bit more cups there. I think they choked a little bit, but he's our coach. I'll take it.
Yeah, Masa, talk to me about him. What's your thoughts on him?
I mean, that was always my go-to. I think the moment that he decides to leave Toronto, at that point I was like, all right, Greg Vanny has to be it. Like it makes sense. He knows what it is to be here. He's won here. He rebuilt Toronto because they were complete trash when he got there. So I thought that was a guy, and then Piojo becomes available, whatever. And even then, like I like Piojo, like because he was an asshole, and I like that. I like my coaches to be dicks. But if I had to pick between the two, I think Vanny was the guy for me, just because the experience in MLS, knowing the rules, knowing how to build an MLS team from nothing to something. So he was always going to be the guy for me. So I felt good about it. I don't want to get too hyped about it though. It's still the Galaxy, dog. It's like a different pressure to coach here than any other team. So I'm just happy to get a fresh start with someone new. But back to George's point, you got to give your man time.
Yeah,
because
listen,
I mean, we keep killing projects left and right, year in, year out, and I mean, that shit
what was it?
Work like that.
5 coaches in 4 seasons, something like that, or whatever site was. Listen,
question,
for me,
when it comes hold on. Before that, who gets more time? Does a player or does a coach get more time?
Right now, it seems like players get more time.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
It should, but in my opinion, it should be the opposite, right? Where like,
Same. Okay.
For me, I think Vanny was the right choice. Vanny for me was the first choice. For the simple reason that Vanny's coach MLS players, right? So his expectations of the shit that some of them could be, it's accurate versus Piojo, or what we saw even with GPS, having played in the league, he still couldn't cope with the shit that some of these players are, the quality of some of these players, right? Like it's MLS at the end of the day. There is some quality here, but it's kind of meshed in with a lot of shit, you know. So I really I like that. I like that from him. That I think he could set a certain expectation on player based on the player, not necessarily wanting the whole team to perform like at the top level. We've seen it in TFC where like the players who are like the DDP players, the TAM players, the players that they were depending on, they showed up for him, right? Given the last couple of years, I think there were some injuries, both with Altidore and that ball got the other coach's fucking
Bradley.
yeah, Bradley.
I hate to cut you off, Rudy, real quick. That was my only issue at Toronto, and I know maybe Vanny wasn't the one in charge of that, but I hate that they pay that much for their DP players. I don't think they're that good.
Listen, in fair argument, right? We can have that's argument you can have. But what's true is that they were contenders, pretty consistent the last 5 years, right? Like they had been in the playoffs. They've been like on top of the Eastern Conference, given that I think it's shittier than the Western Conference. But they had been near the top, like for consistently in the last 5 years, right? And if we think about what we want for the G's, it's for them to be that French that marquee team in the MLS as they had been, as they have a tradition of being. They lost that, right? So for all those reasons, I think Vanny was the coach, right? I know I mentioned it last year at one point, or after GBS got released, that I think for us we do need. I even said maybe give a look at help me out here. He became interim coach when GBS left. Dom. Yeah, Dom. Yeah, he said maybe give him a look just for the same reason that he understands MLS and that these guys are. Not all of them are going to be stellar as you want. So I'm okay with this. Also, like I think TFC played dope.
Yeah.
Right. I think really like and it's been constant with them. Listen, another thing that gets me excited. What two players have been like the key players for Vanny and TFC? All right, Jovinko and
non-DP players to me.
No. Listen, Jovinko and Pozuelo, right? That's the guy I have right now. They're camps. Those two guys have been the heartbeat of that team, right? So guess what he's gonna look for, right? And Angel's gonna be happy about this. Guess what Vanny's gonna bring in. What think his priority is gonna be? A fucking creative midfielder, right? I know Massa and Angel, and me and George backed them up on that, but they were really the ones drilling that. Is that we need a cam. We always needed a cam. We haven't had a real cam, and I think because of what we've seen with Vanny at TFC, I think we'll push for like a real quality player, right? Anybody who resembles Pozuelo or Jovinko.
Ooh, a Jovinko, God. Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like
scary.
Both of them.
Anybody who resembles those qualities, like,
and he looks for them. That's what it is, because that's his style of play. That's what runs the ball, and that's honestly what we need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Now, hey, so somebody
I might say a little something controversial. I wish he wasn't an ex-Galaxy player, to be honest with you.
Less pressure.
Yeah, less pressure. Even from there was a lot of people wanting him just because he's an ex-Galaxy player, and it's like no, it's not that. The reason why I want this man, or the reason why I'm accepting of it and I enjoy it, is because of what he did with Toronto. I could care where he could have came from, Sri Lanka. I could give a fuck less. I think the ex-Galaxy player brings some pressure to it, which is good, but it's unneeded. The pressure should be the fact that you're the head coach of the Galaxy. That's the pressure.
Yeah, listen, I don't think it's controversial. I see where you're coming from with that. But at the same time, like there is something to him having won stuff with the Galaxy before too. You know what I mean? Like there is stuff him being in MLS. But here's the thing, it is. But he's been in MLS for so long, where he won stuff with the Galaxy, and he was around MLS when the Galaxy was winning stuff without him, right? So like he's similar to us, where we've seen this league for such a long time that it's hard for us to not see the Galaxy at that level, right? Because they've been there for so many years in our in our following of the team, right? Like he has similar where like he's seen this club be at its highest for most of the time, and just the last 5 years or so has been complete shit. Here, let's bring in the chat a little bit. Ant says, and I'll tie this into what we're talking about. Ant says, thoughts on the FO getting players on short-term contracts. Scope them out first and risk the high future salary to make sure you get the results.
100%.
So and I'm gonna keep running, and I'm talk more about the chat. The chat is mentioning a lot about a lot of like Wiki. Can, in your opinions, can Avani DTK resemble that? Do we have trust there, or is there anything you think we could build from that?
I think
Next
DTK
2-3
is
years.
adaptable. He adapts, and I think that's what's so good about him. He's able to adapt, and he's able to from his career, from everything that he's done. You get me? Working with youth is not an easy task. It's either you make it or you don't make it. And the fact that he's done it, I feel that he's able to adapt, and I could see it happening. I hope so.
Yeah. Masa?
I mean, he has to at this point. If shit doesn't go the right way soon, guess who's up on the chopping block?
Yeah.
Next, there's no
DTK.
more chances. I think this is a do or die moment.
What about Ant's
DTK?
What about Ant's question? Right, we have seen short contracts. Like, listen, part of that is also why we're in this limbo with Pavon that we'll talk. Right, the next thing we'll talk about is Pavon. But we've seen it with Antuna, right? Like, even though like he ended up getting purchased by Chivas, he was in a short-term contract. We've seen it with your boy Fabio. We've seen it with now we're seeing it with Yoni Gonzalez. These players who at least initially when we hear about them and when they're getting brought in, they come in with some hype, right? So, they got qualities that we like seem like we need. Not a lot of them have panned out, but what do you think about that? About those tactics? We think that's working?
Easier. I honestly, I rather enjoy that part, but it's all about what's happening inside of that locker room, and it's all about that dynamic. It's all about how the players feel. If a player coming from Europe or for anyone else sees that the players that are already in the team are giving up and could give a shit less, that person's gonna do the same thing. So I'd rather have that small commitment. Now, vice versa, if a player comes from Europe or wherever they come, and this team is making it happen, guess what? That short-term contract, you got to put the shit together. If not, you're going to be out. So I think it's a win-win on both sides, especially if it's someone that we want to invest in the long run.
All right, let me argue. And this is just me playing devil's advocate here. You have short-term contract, and the team is not performing, right? To me, and I'll say, like, what's the motivation to do that much better, right? Because this team is shit, and at the end of the season, you're out, and you could look for another club. Listen, because right now, if I'm a player who was on loan, and I played with that G's team last year, anything looks better than here, right? The green is definitely greener on the other side, right? Like, so they're like, to me, I feel like with these short-term contracts, like there's no added motivation for a player to like develop and really push forward, right? Because at the end of even if you push forward and it's going to be close to the end of the season, you're going to look out for yourself because you don't want to get hurt, right? Because whether they give you a contract for more money or go somewhere else, but there is no certainty past the end of the season.
But then we have the Binghams, we have the Giovanni Dos Santos, we have those type of things. We have those type of situations where you have that insurance that if you don't want to play this day, it's okay. Maybe you could play in a couple of weeks because you have 3 more years here. And if that doesn't want to happen, cash me out and I'll go play somewhere else where I get the motivation.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting. And you're right? Because you have players like fucking Bingham who.
But it all starts with
But it's not only FO too, because we re-upped in that bitch too. Yeah,
I believe it fully starts with the FO and the mentality of the coach. That's where it starts. That's where the mindset happens.
Myself, what do you say to that? Like, do you want to see like a real proper scouting or in-depth scouting? So when we buying fools, like we know exactly where they're coming from, or do you want to half-ass scouting?
Scouting should be a norm, like a good fucking scouting. Like there should not be a reason why you half-ass scout someone. And the reason you bring in players on loan is because they're good players looking to take their game to the next level because they're not getting playing time in a bigger club. That's the only reason why players should come in on loan. to play here, right? Because you come and to an example, my man was signed from Man City, right? Not gonna get any playing time there, so you come here to develop, and then
show out,
and you show out, which he did, and then he ended up getting paid out by Chivas, and had a good performance last season. Dude, my issue is when there's certain players that we should have kept. To me, Fabio should have still been on this team last year, right? Because he was on loan at Pumas,
and he was on cheap too. Like it wasn't. So it was breaking the bank.
Why not bring him back? Or Polenta had his fuck ups, but I mean, he was clearly the
leader,
better center back in the back, and my man just won a national championship in Paraguay. So, those are the type of players that I don't understand why we didn't bring back.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, at the same time, back to what George is saying, there's players that are here on too long of a fucking contract. Like Shelvik is still under contract. I mean, I don't shit. Something has to give. They have to fix that shit ASAP.
Yeah, and listen, a couple of things just to kind of close out on this loan thing. I feel like some of the loans we got in recently have been stopgaps because like we're just kind of free falling, right? Like into fucking the pits, and we just bring somebody in, they could possibly help us out because right now we have no other option. But going forward, I'm also not mad if they're looking into contracts because I think we do need to fucking figure a way to clean slate and get rid of all this baggage. Just get rid of all this baggage. So if you're bringing in loans, knowing that it's not a long-term commitment with these contracts, and eventually you get to a point where like in the offseason you have 8-9 different spots, 8-9 spots you could bring in new players. That's not a bad look either, right? As long as you get some sort of results during the season, if you can have that cleanup over a season or two, and give if Vanny, maybe his third season, Vanny has a clean slate. It might be good. This is all different opinions here. It's different mechanisms going at work, different opinions, different leaderships inside the FO, kind of pulling different ways. We'll see how this season goes. But in my opinion, like the signing of Vanny, having DTK there feels like the right direction, right? Only time will tell, but at least to me, it feels like the right direction.
Yeah,
only time will tell. But we gotta give the man time. That's what it is.
Yeah, you got.
Listen, to be fair though, he has to earn time too. Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Listen,
if
GBS
a light at the end of the tunnel, or something close to it.
If GBS doesn't have like what was it, like the 8-week losing streak, if he gets a couple wins in there and a few ties in there, like who knows? He might have had it another year, right? He might have bought himself another season, or at least like towards the end of the year, and then have a conversation then. But he didn't do himself any service either because he couldn't get the guys to get up and get a result, any kind of result. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna throw Arteta in there right now, right? Arteta was coming in like I think it was like 8 games that he hadn't won, and everyone was talking about like Arteta out. My man won 3 games, and that just hushed, right? It's like he bought himself. He bought himself the extra time.
They started winning though. We know why.
Because they have talent. Because they have talent. They have youth talent.
Because he was on vacation and went back to the UK.
Because what?
My man was in New York and Arsenal wasn't winning, and then he went back to London and they started winning.
The troops. I meant troops. Yeah. Listen, it is what it is though. It's not Arsenal show. I just kind of wanted to bring that in. Like I think Arteta bought himself time, and I think whoever Vanny, I think he'll have like the first half of the season where they let him do his thing, but if he's not getting results, there's gonna be pressure too. He needs to figure out a way where he can manage that pressure and keep developing the team and keep growing the identity that he wants to show the team. He has to do that for himself too, right? It can't just be like let him live. No, he has to earn that shit too. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Pavon, because this Pavon thing, like listen, I think we all left the last time we were all together having a Straight from the Stands podcast. We all left feeling that the guys are going to figure it out and they're going to bring him back, right? I think that was it. All right, listen, and it could happen, right? Because it's not over. But we felt like it wasn't get to January 4th, and we're still talking about like, is he in? Is he out? Like my man's in limbo. And let's just kind of recap it real quick. The ongoing conversations, and then boom, one day they say the Galaxy have informed Boca they're no longer pursuing Pavon, right? Again, I don't think anything has been confirmed. It's just what we're reading online. We're reading the same shit you guys reading online. So we, for this, at least in this, we have no inside information. When that comes out, I'm like, all right, like, okay, cool, fuck it. I wanted him to stay. He's not gonna stay. What's the next move? A few days ago, I started hearing that Pavon tells Boca, I'm not coming back. You get rumors now talking about.
Bitch. That's what he said.
You hear rumors. You hear rumors about the G's going back in there. I think there's actually interest in Europe. I read it and I forgot. I didn't put it down in the notes.
From where?
There's interest in Europe for a loan. And Boca's like, nah. Boca's like, nah. So they're listening to the Galaxy.
You know why that is?
Talk to me.
Galaxy was like, cut your bluff, dog. Like,
I think that's what it is too.
Like, we're not gonna chase him. We already offered you the money. And then everybody got all sad, and I was like, nah, chill. Like, it's all right. It's gonna take time. And then Boca's pushing out rumors that there's interest from Europe, but there ain't no interest from Europe. You know, we're the only team that
It's a bluff.
has that type of money that we've offered
Mm-hmm.
to pay, and that we're the only team that's gonna give them that. And Boca's in crisis, bro. It's financial.
The fucking AFP.
It's not great. So when there's interest in Europe about a loan, it's not gonna be the money that the Galaxy are paying. And then one decides not to show up to
training,
practice, or to talk with the manager. It only tells you one thing: he wants to stay here. And I've been saying that. And people, well, why would he want to stay here? You know,
you see where he's staying at? You see where he lives at? You see his Instagram? He's good. My man's chilling.
If the team's not doing good, it's like, come on, man. Like, it's LA, bro. It's like it's imagine living in Buenos Aires, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but then coming here and living by the beach
and getting paid
every weekend and getting paid way more money than what you're making over there, and getting your money on time. Like, this is just common sense, bro.
And on top of that, just to add to that, like, and knowing that you performed as much as you could for the team. So like, the failures of the team don't necessarily lie in your back, right? Yes, he had flaws, but like, nobody could say that he didn't want to perform, right? At times it looked like he was doing too much, right? When everybody else was doing nothing. So I think he he has his head right. Like, I'm not going back to Boca. These guys are giving me money. I want to stay here, at least for now, and just kind of, a good thing for us. I just read that Boca, like, they had to put in their Libertadores roster, and Pavon is not in that roster, right? So I think, like, they were really looking for him to come in and kind of try to win this Libertadores, win the Copa Maradona, or the Maradona. Yeah, I think it's called the Copa Maradona, whatever the cup is called. I'm sure that's what they wanted him for, right? At least they wanted him to show up for that and then figure it out afterwards. But it seems like Pavon has a stand on, like, I'm not going back to Boca. Only boat's good for us. I'm looking to keep him. With that being said, he stays, right? He stays. And we'll talk about both scenarios, but let's talk about he stays. What do we need to build around him so he could really be that game changer for us? He'll be, what is that? What do you think we need?
Cam, that's exactly what he needs. He needs that freedom. He needs to be able to run. He needs to be able to be confident enough to dish off a ball and know that a great pass is coming his way. He doesn't need to be making yards, making runs from the half to score goals, which we've seen that he does. But then after that, he dies out. We don't need that. We need him to be able to work out throughout the whole game. And then if we have a double header, still be ready for that. We saw throughout this season that he was gassed a lot of those games.
Yeah.
And he looked bad. And the man's not a bad player.
No. And again, I'll reinstate the fact that I said that a lot of times he was doing too much, and that's what made him look bad, right? And we all understand why he was trying to do too much, because nobody else was doing shit. Masa, you tell me. I mean, you agree with George? You have anything else to say?
It comes down to coaching, right? Because at some point last year, GBS lost the locker room. We could say that.
Yep.
And we need the coach to implement that. Everyone needs to match that intensity. If every player on the field matches the intensity that Pavon plays with, that Araujo plays with, I mean, what more can you ask from your players?
Yep.
And
yeah, no,
my man is running crazy I'm pretty sure he ran the most out of anybody on that team.
Easy. In one game, he ran the most out of everyone in a year.
And it's like if everyone does their job and matches that intensity, and I'm not saying like run stupidly, but as a unit, if they do that, I mean, my man won't be so gassed all the time.
Yeah. Yes. Right. I agree with you 100%. Also, I think, listen, bring on the hate because I'm gonna hate for this. A informed Chicharito alleviates a lot from Pavon, right? This season, most defense didn't have to worry about Chicharito. One, he wasn't in the field a lot of times, and two, when he was shit, right? And he was down at the midfield line. If you have an informed Chicharito, and we saw a glimpse of that one game, where he looked decent, right? Like, I mean, we would have taken that Chicharito the whole season, but if we get that, I think, and we talked about it last year. Like, our thought was that he was gonna pull people away from Pavon, right? Unfortunately, never got there. But I think if we could get an informed Chicharito to just do that, like listen, look for those tap-ins and just be a pest in the midfield and start pulling the defense out.
Still our striker. If you don't like him, stop watching the Galaxy.
Listen, he's not going anywhere, right?
No.
4 years, so he has 3 years left.
He's not.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. And the thing is, like, you have to hope that he does better, right? You have to hope that he's better. We've seen players on 4-year contracts not do better the whole time, and then we paid him out, right? I'm hoping it's not the case. And to be honest, like I'm telling you, that glimpse we saw him, the goal he scored, like I think it was like the game before last or whatever it was, second to last game of the year. Like yeah, that's the shit that we expected though, right? Like that little play, because it wasn't too much. He had the right touch, he got inside and got the goal. Like that's what we expected from him. And we can see more of that. I think a lot of heat goes away. I'm not going to defend him this season, and I understand why everybody's talking shit, right? What is true though is that what's inevitable is that he's going to be here next year. Is it next season or next year? Huh? He's going to be here. He's going to be in the season. Like, like we're not moving away from that. And I think that if he becomes,
my bad, Rudy. I feel like
no, go for it.
He has to prove everyone wrong, because at this point, he's not in my good graces. So
you gave up on already. I remember.
I gave up on him. I'm taking a fat L on that, and I have no hope.
I'm still there.
Prove me wrong.
Hey, Manny, when I'm saying inform, I mean like in game form. Like, because right, doesn't matter whether it was fit or fat or skinny. He didn't have the touch to be in the game. He had the rhythm. That's what I mean. That's the inform I mean. And if I wasn't clear, that's on me. Listen, but do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me that if Chicharito is in form, like, that alleviates a lot from
I think with that, a Cam, Pavon is gonna be like you're set. What else do you need? Obviously, we know we need a better defense, but it's just literally one piece, a player changing his mindset and becoming the player that we wanted him to be. Massa could coach that team, and it'll be a good ass team. You get me?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last year, right?
It doesn't take much. I don't get it, but the players have to play.
It has to tick, right? They both.
Hey, hold on. This Massa's a really good coach. I just it was the first name that came to my mind.
Yeah, man. But also, like, so now you have, listen, 2021 positive Rudy, right? I mean, it's always positive, but 2021 extra positive Rudy. Yep, I want him back, and he's dope as shit. And regardless, even on a bad day, he's dope as shit. You have Chicharito, who's decent for us, right? He's like 10 goals, 5 assists type of season for him. And you bring in a Cam who's trouble with the ball. Now you have a triangle up there that's gonna split the fucking defense, any defense, right? Because or if not split the defense, you're gonna have to make the midfield drop in, and it's gonna open up the other side. Like, you need 3 players in this squad who are enough to call 6 players' attention, and have the rest of the team be okay. Be okay, right? Like, be okay. 2 players in our team that score 8, 10 goals a piece, right? And then like 4 or 5 that score 2 or 3, and we'll be straight, bro. Cool. Let's say worst case scenario, Pavon is not here. Boca's like, all right, you guys not coming up to whatever price we want, and we're not selling. He's in, he belongs to us right now, so he has to come back. What do you do? How do you fill that void? Like, what are you looking for in a player to fill that void?
Find a cam, and then you find another winger that's worthy enough, not worthy enough, but talented enough to understand. Obviously, it's going to be hard to fill in the shoes of Pavon, but
Mhm.
find someone that's being able to work around that. That's smart enough and that's it's teachable. If you have a solid cam, the likes of Javinko, the likes of what we've
Yeah.
mentioned, you could bring in
Bravo.
wingers that you just flip the role now. We needed someone at cam for Pavon that was just smart enough to do it. Sadly, we didn't get it. So now we don't have Pavon. Let's bring someone in the Pavon likes as a cam. And now we just find someone that's teachable at the wing, but
Yeah.
still good enough to make it happen.
I mean, listen, we saw glimpses of Dunbar and Wild playing out wide, and they didn't do a bad job, right? We seen
Yes,
again.
but
I agree with you. I agree with you because I think priority and I'm telling you, fucking Angel's super wet right now because we're talking about this. I think our priority is a cam, right? Priority is a
course.
cam, regardless whether Pavon stays or not. Because like I think you can find a winger. I mean, we caught Antuna on loan and he was, you know, I mean, again, if we would have played different style soccer, I think he would have been better than when he was then, right? But we're looking for him across. But he was fast enough. He was skilled enough to make defense get wide, and I think that's all you need. Obviously, we have but one, you know, more than enough. But yeah, I think George's right. Masa, you have any thoughts on this? If Pavon leaves, what do we do? How do we fill that void?
I agree. Cam, I mean, DP Cam for sure. Um, if not, shit, I don't know. Start building your team slowly without using up that DP spot. For me,
Do you think? Hold on, question, Masa. Do you think a DP spot needs to be for that camera?
no,
No.
no. I think there's good cams in the league. Example Molino. He's not going back to Minnesota. Kevin Molino.
Somebody just mentioned him too.
Yeah. Cam Molino's a good cam. Scores a lot of goals. I mean, he might want DP money. That I don't know, but I know he wasn't a DP.
I'll say this though, right? Like, if Galaxy drop money, the DP money on the cam, I'm not worried about that. I'm not tripping on that.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if you bring in a cam, a DP quality cam, I am mad at that. I am mad at that at all. You know, yeah. Not Logan Jones, please no. Logan just said Ozo's coming. Please no.
Oh.
Please no, no Ozo. Please no. let's not do that. All right. Listen, let's get ready to wrap it up. Just kind of wanted to get caught up with everything in the G's world right now. Here, I pulled up the current squad from what I could put together, right? And that's what I put together in about 30 minutes. So I didn't go in depth. I didn't do like mad research. So I might be wrong on some of these. And if the chat catches it, let me know and I'll fix it live. I'll try to fix it live. But let's go through our current squad. Goalkeepers right now. Bingham's out of contract. What's up?
You're showing the chat on the thing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm not showing anything.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about it. I have it listed. I'm just talking about it. A goalkeeper, we have Bingham, who's out of contract, right?
Mate.
Listen, I hope the Galaxy do the right move and don't renegotiate like at all. Let him be.
I'm hoping,
Bye.
bro.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, fuck that.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't want him at cheaper. I don't want him at all. Like, hopefully let him go. But also Klinsmann's an option, which I found that weird because I thought he at least had like 18 months. I guess they had 6 months with an option of a year, which is interesting. So he's an option. And then we have a big drop off because we have Lopez and Van Steeg behind him. Both of those are definitely not first team quality keepers, right? These are the kids for the future.
Do you guys remember when Angel said that Van Steeg should be our starter?
Let's not remember those hard times. So let's talk about it, right? Bingham, obviously, I think we're all in agreement. He's out, right?
No.
Hey, Manny, no, he did not make 15 points at all this year. 2 seasons back, he did.
Do we want to, or what do we think is going to happen?
Let's go. Let's go. What we want, and then we could put on our FO hats and think of what's going to actually happen. So Bingham, we don't want him back. I think we all agree on that. Klinsmann, he has an option.
I want Klinsmann.
And
do you pick him up?
I want Klinsmann. Yes, because he's young, and from what I saw from him, I mean, my man had some dope ass saves, bro. Like, and it sucks that he got scored on so much. but I feel like none of those goals were on him. Opposed to David Bingham, like we shouldn't have gotten scored on. We got scored on because he's so fucking trash.
Yeah, I remember that argument we had because I think Bingham gets benched and then Klinsmann also gets 6 on him. But those 6 were like a few of them were like bangers, and then the others were like defense.
Remember the Andy Polo?
Yeah. So it's a hard deal. I fucks with y'all. I think we bring him back, but here's the question though: do we bring him back as our number one keep, starting keeper? Is that how you see him?
If you're asking,
it depends on what's out there, bro.
If you're asking me, we should amp up our defense and Cam and go with Klinsmann. I'll say yes.
You build for you build from the back, right? Always. Klinsmann's what, 2023?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this is a 3-year project. So when you hit your second, third year, you're competing, if not in the final stage of your project. You're talking about a keeper in his prime, possibly at 26, 27 years old. The only way you get good at doing what you're doing is reps. So if you think he's good enough to start in MLS, which I think I don't know. I think he's good enough to do it. I think it's a gamble worth taking, especially if you have a fucking experienced keeper like David Bingham. If you took a gamble on that motherfucker for 3 years or 2 years or whatever the fuck it was, I would take my chances with Klinsmann, hands down.
I don't think they took a gamble. I'm pretty sure fucking Bingham had something on them though. It's blackmail. That's the only way it happened. That was blackmail, though. You know what I mean? He had something dirty on one of them. I mean, like, I ain't going nowhere. Y'all paying me. Here, let me throw something out here. Logan Jones had half a decent comment. He says Vanny will bring in Alex Bono or bring back Brian Rowe. Let's pretend like he didn't say Brian Rowe. Let's pretend like he's saying Brian Rowe. Let's pretend like he didn't say that. But Bono, he has a little more experience. What do you guys think? Maybe he's not Bono, right? Maybe he's like a 34, 35-year-old MLS keeper. And you bring him in for like a year contract while still letting Klinsmann develop. Do you think that staggers him, where he doesn't develop at the rate that he could? Is that a good move? Is that a bad move? What are you guys thinking? Klinsmann. Yeah, I'm talking about like the development of Klinsmann. Because I agree with you, Masa. I think he could be that keeper of the future, right? The keeper you keep for 5, 6, 7 years because he's so young and he's talented. I agree with you guys. I liked what I saw him, right? I was real skeptical. I like what I saw him. I mean, as easy as distribution.
I think it's hard to say, especially with that being said, just because we don't know what other competition is going to be happening other than the MLS Cup. This is a time where the League Cup would be great. All the other cups that we play with,
US Open Cup,
the US Open Cup. But with that being said, when has a Galaxy goal in your recent memory ever played from game 1 to game whatever games that we played? So there's going to be time in there for you to prove yourself. So there's going to be time, hopefully, to build that confidence. But I think it's hard to say, especially if we don't know how many tournaments we're going to be playing in this year.
Yeah. Must you have anything to say for
I think it hurts Klinsmann, to be honest.
Listen, and I just thought of.
I mean, it's a 2-3 year project, let's say, right? Why cut into those 3 years? For someone who's probably going to be here a year or less, I don't see the point. Like if your first year is the year that you're gonna experiment, and go all out, balls deep. If that's your keeper, keeper.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I think, listen, for what it's worth, I think you get that option, right, and you have him at least for another year. And as we were talking, I think you guys convinced me of the opposite. Where I think you do bring in a 35, 34-year-old keeper as your backup to Klinsmann to make sure that his ass is still on check, right? Because if you keep him in there with Eric Lopez and Vam Stieg, I don't think there's competition there, right? Because Klinsmann is the obvious better keeper. But if you bring in somebody, and I'm not going to throw a name out there because I'm not sure who's available, but you bring in a keeper who has experience, MLS experience, and who's a decent shot stopper, right? He doesn't have to be great. You put that pressure on him that, okay, you're the number one right now. But you got somebody riding your back that has played in this league or has, some experience here. And that could push them to be a better keeper. Again, I think we could all agree that we at least want to see them pick up that option and see where it goes from there, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move into defense because in defense we saw Felcher move to Fulcher moved to FC Wurstburger Kickers, German second division.
AYSO team.
I think he's gonna do great there. Which is something I think a lot of, I know Masa's not one of them, right? I'm in the fence of where I stand him, but I know a lot of people want to see that move. They wanted to see him get rid of Fulcher. I was in the fence about him because I didn't think he was as bad as people saw him, but I'm also okay with that move because let's go. Let's move on, right? That leaves us with something to think about in defense, though, right? Because right now, for sure, we have Araujo, we have Depew, people. I think for another season, Steres, and then we have like that. That's listen. Those are like the starting caliber, quote unquote, starting caliber defenders we have on the books right now, right? To kind of pattern that up a little bit, we have Acosta. We didn't see at all last year because he had that MCL injury or ACL injury. I'm not sure which one it was. They kept him out the whole season. We have Traore, who we have seen, but we all know that he needs still a lot of time to develop because there's some highlights to him, but definitely a lot of flaws as well. And Insua, who's also has the Galaxy have an option to pick it up or not.
Yo, seeing this fucking backline frustrates the shit out of me just because there's no bad. I don't feel that there's a bad player on here. We shouldn't have been giving up goals the way that we did last year. I think we just need one strong person in there just to shape these motherfuckers up. The same way that you said that Klinsmann needs a 35-year-old below him. These defenders need someone above them to push them and to
kind of pull them. To pull them up with them, right? Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. But I mean, even if we look at it right now, three of the guys that we're looking at are center backs, right? Three of the guys that we're looking at center back, we've seen like with childish, like elementary school mistakes, right? And I'm talking about the people in Steres. Like all three of them had mistakes. Like Dupuy, I think for him, he has saving grace because he's still young, and his mistakes were being overly aggressive, right? He cost us some penalties, and some of these pens also were a little like, was that really a pen? It went in their favor, but you know they're shaky. But again, it's still the fact that he was a little over aggressive. I mean, we could say the same thing about Araujo. His flaws were like sometimes he lost his head. He was a little over aggressive, knowing that he was in a yellow, got a red card. People in Steres, both of them are prone for mistakes. Those four that I'm talking about, who are potentially the starting for, or have their names thrown in the hat for the starting positions. Three of them, I'm shaky on, right? I'll say two of them. I'll go with two. People in Steres, I'm shaky on them. The Pure and Araujo, I think we could build on. The chat is mentioning they want to bring it up, and I think we should because we need it. Villafaña, right? That was the rumor. I don't think it ever got confirmed because the Galaxy, and they're not going to confirm until like the day before the season starts. Much need help? Just more of the same? What do you guys think of Villafaña?
I like it.
I think it's the right move, to be honest.
I like it. Yeah.
We bitch about bringing players that are not MLS experienced players, and here's another player that they're bringing in. He's been in the league for a long ass time. Won MLS Cup
with Portland, no?
Yeah. One Liga MX too.
Oh yeah, with Santos.
Yeah,
he won it. Yeah, with Santos. Yeah, Santos. Yeah.
Yep. So this is someone who's won, has a winning mentality. Portland's always a challenger. Maybe didn't play as much as he should have last year. I don't know the deal. I don't follow Portland. Fuck Portland. But this is. I feel like it's a good move, to be honest.
Over Insua, TDM releases. Ask resell.
The only thing if Insua doesn't come back, the only thing I'm gonna be sad about is Insua actually played almost every minute.
He busted his ass.
Yeah, but I mean, he had a lot of mistakes, bro. Like,
I
like Insua. I like Insua.
Can Villafaña play somewhere else other than left back?
Listen, he's a wide out back, right? So it's either left back or right back. We're not moving Araujo. Araujo's are the number. Listen, Pavon's here. Pavon's the first name you put on that starting 11, followed by Araujo, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like for me, at least for me, that's that way I see it. Like two players that you want in starting 11. One of you have them in Araujo there. Listen, but at the same time, I said I agree with you with Insua. Like I think Insua is not. I think Insua is a good left back, right? For what it's worth for MLS, he's decent there. But because of what we've seen with the Galaxy the last few years, I think I want as much MLS winning experience as I can. You know what I mean? Villafana travel, Villafana familiarity with the teams and the players that you're going to come up against. All that is a plus, right? Because like even now, Steris at People Depew, they have some experience. Depew has a full season of experience. There's multiple seasons, and people like he's been a year. Even all with that said, like even the experience they have has been a negative experience, right? Like every single fucking MLS team they faced has owned them at one point or another, right?
Yeah.
Villafana doesn't have that experience. Villafana has the experience of owning, like whoever the right winger is he's playing against, and he's familiar with the right winger he's facing against, right? Obviously, bringing new players, he will know them, but like most of the players he has faced before, and he has faced in a way where he's beating them, right? Not necessarily him by himself, but like as the team he was playing for, they've gotten success with most teams, right? Because we're looking at Portland, a team that's been pretty successful in the last few years as well. I like this move. I like this move because it brings what George was talking about, right? Villafana is not this big guy who looks like a powerhouse, but it's a guy who brings a lot of experience. A guy who brings in cups, right? MLS experience. I fucks with it.
AJ. Is that AJ?
Yeah. Listen, without the connection to the club, right? I think the only thing AJ had over him is a connection to the club. I think Villafana has more legs than AJ has now. You know what I mean? My bad, AJ. I fucks with you. But you know, yes,
He's viejo. He's old.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Villafana still has more legs than he does. I fucks with that move. I want that move to be concrete and be confirmed because I think, regardless of what identity we want to have, I think it's a strong left back, right? One that can defend and one that can bomb forward as well. I fucks with that a lot.
No international spot, and then you still have Danilo Costa. So we didn't see too much of him, but I mean, there's no thinking that backline. There's only one international spot, that being People.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good move for me.
Traore got a green card, right? Is that the last thing we heard about him, or is he still on international?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
All right. Regardless, I mean, I'm pretty sure they work out. So, I mean, final thoughts on Insua. Actually,
I'm good if he comes back. I'm good if he doesn't come back.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. I would too. I'll say this, right? I'm okay with. I want him to come back. If the Villafana thing completely falls off, I want him back. All right, because he's shown that he can play left back. Put better players around him, I think he'd be better. If Villafana comes in, I would take him. I just need to know what his salary is like.
Would you take Villafana over Insua?
Yeah. I don't. And for me, it's not as. It's because I think he's at par with Insua and brings a lot of the MLS experience that I think we need to flourish.
Fair
in our team right now. All right, let's move into the mid because again, we talked about it a little bit when we were talking about bringing in a Cam. But let's look at the players we actually have in the mid. We have Jonathan Dos Santos. Hey, listen, that video is fire. I don't give a fuck what you're saying. That video of him dancing, I fucks with it.
Hey, you should try it. We should do him for the Straight from the Stands, and it's gonna be you.
My little nephew just got a little bike. I might do it on that, though. I can't do it in a real car. You know, my fat ass can't do that, though. We're gonna like 2 miles per hour in the car. We just speed it up so it look like I'm doing it faster. But we got Dos Santos. He's in. He's locked in. We have Leggett. He's in. He's locked in. We have Efra. He's in. He's locked in. We have Sasha. He's in. He's locked in. Players that we don't count on but are in and locked in. Koreniuk.
Underscore.
We have Koreniuk and Perez, right? Both young kids in the team. They don't count against our cap. They don't count against our max player, so we keep them there. But we have Dos Santos, Sasha, Leggett, and Efra.
Yep.
That by no means is a good midfield. A good mid, right? We have players there, but it's not enough for a season. So we definitely need to see something move about here.
Does one name change all that?
Does what?
Does one name change the way that we look at this midfield?
I think one name gives us a clear indication of what our midfield or our center midfield looks like. Right? That Cam, whatever that quality Cam we bring in, kind of seals like that midfield triangle.
These are all players Not all of them, but most of these players would come off the bench in any other team.
It's crazy
Wait,
to say that.
wait. Are we talking? Are you really saying Dos Santos bench player in the team?
No. Most of these, I said most of these players.
But honestly, I think the three of them
is the only one. Legit could maybe come off the bench on a couple teams.
Legit plays an enemy for the MLS, whether you like it or not.
But this goes back to how I feel about Jonathan right now, right? You guys saying this midfield is meh, right? This is a DP player. We should not feel like that about a DP player on our team.
No. But see, here's where I think
I didn't say meh. I said he was.
But we feel like this. No, but we feel like this midfield is underwhelming.
Yeah.
But one player doesn't.
What we have right now, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Jonathan Dos Santos, a DP player, is in that midfield right now with those midfielders, all of them that we just said.
I don't agree with you. There's he's going up against other midfielders that could actually play together. So when it's like playing monkey in the middle in that point. You're gonna make the man look bad.
Listen, to be fair though, like Dos Santos was not ever at his best this season, ever. Anytime we seen him play, he was not at his best. When he came back, when he came back, and we were waiting for that spark to come from Dos Santos, it wasn't there. Again, I'm not going to harp on that because I think we can say that about almost every single player with the exception of one. Right? I'll say this though, to give a lot of validation to what George said, Dos Santos, he's never going to be like your creative player. Dos Santos, he's never going to be your. I'm sorry. Let me finish this off, and then I'll shut up and let you run. But he's never going to be your close down the shop all defensive player, right? Dos Santos is going to be the pace dictator, right? Get the ball to him and have him play the right pass, right? He'll pressure when he needs to. He'll recover when he needs to. He'll step up when he needs to. But he's not going to be your all around. Yeah, he's not that. He's not that. And I think we've been asking him to either be like super defensive midfielder or like go out attack. And we haven't seen like where he fits in the most. I think when we got closest to it is when we paired Legit and Dos Santos in the midfield. That's the closest to the best Dos Santos we've seen. And that's why, again, like when I looked at this, at our midfield, and I'm really looking at it like a central midfield, I think you bring one name and it changes the whole thing. I think yes, because I think you bring in that cam that's going to be the outlet, that's going to be the one that moves from side to side, the one that's going to be creating, and you let pass back and pass to the side Legit, and Dos Santos just sit in the middle and kind of dictate the pace of it. I think that could work. I think that really could work, especially if you have somebody like a wide and you get somebody that's half decent on the other side. I think that really works. But to be fair though, to Mas's point too, like he is a DP player, and last year, and maybe even the year before that, has he lived up to that? You know, we gave Alessandrini a lot of shit for not living up to that. Dos Santos, is he falling in the same place?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that there's going to be times where obviously the people around you, if they're not showing up, you're going to be like, what the hell? But there's going to be times that's happened and he's the only one that shows face. He's the only one that's running box to box. He's the only one that shit. People made shirts off of him, the same people that talk shit about him. That comes to show you this man changed a lot of people's thoughts about it.
So Galaxy fans though, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I personally like him. He's playing with the cards that are dealt to him, and also it's a team, how the team feels. If you see that a lot of people are not giving a fuck if they're coming in half-assing it, they're saying that they're injured, I'll do the same thing. Why am I going to fuck up myself, my livelihood? Why am I going to go out there, give it 110%, get hurt, possibly not have a career if I fuck myself up? Like, no, come on now.
Listen, logically, I think you make a lot of sense. But we need the opposite in the club, 100%. Especially for a DP player. Like, right, our DP players, when we have those downs, because even if we have a dope team this season coming up, we're gonna have some downs, right? We're gonna have games where we're not playing that good, and that's when we need these DP players to be the ones to do that something extra. That's something special that gets us that that draw or that 1-0 goal or that 2-1 win, right? Like we need that because we're not gonna have a perfect season ever. But when we have these downtimes, we need the DP players to step up. And at least last year, right? And let's just focus on last year because our short term is biased, right? We remember what happened the most recent, and it wasn't good enough from Dos Santos. I think he could. Listen, the thing is, Dos Santos has not changed from this time when he was playing in Villarreal. He's still the same guy who's that 6, as I think Manny said on the chat. He's that 6 that lies a little deeper, but can put a ball to either wing or put it down the middle to whoever needs it. Like, he has quality when it comes. I think his biggest quality is his touch, right? He could get a pass, look up and ping a ball when he wants to. Give him a space to do that, and we haven't had that. So that, right? That's our midfield. I think we need depth there. I think we need a lot of depth there. We need players, right? We need just players in there. Listen, and in midfield, I included. Well, I didn't because we don't have like right midfielder or left midfielders, right? We don't have any of those. So, and again, maybe we don't need them because maybe that's not, we're not playing with left midfielders. We're playing with some wingers. I don't know what Vanny comes in and looks like, but right now we don't have any white players that play midfield and not necessarily more in the attacking end as the wingers. We don't have any of that. I think something, only time will tell what Vanny wants to do and who we bring in, but there's room to bring in players there. I'm sorry. And one that dropped into second page. Cuello's option. George, pick up Cuello's option.
He even said goodbye. Fuck Cuello. He's in the wrong position. You don't know. Just because he's Argentinian. Bosch, get the fuck out of here.
Massa, pick up Cuello. Pick up Cuello.
No.
I thought you were gonna bait him. I thought you were gonna bait him. Massa Seren. Hey, I like 2020 Massa. He's there. He's present. He's not even in the past.
Just to add to the Jonah thing, I just think it's a wasted DP spot at this point. If you feel, yes, that midfield is not great, but if you don't feel slightly better about that midfield, seeing Jonathan's name in that list, that's a bad sign.
I think the thing is, I do though.
See, and I think my problem
only because you lost Joe Benny though. I think if Joe Benny's in that list, then you're okay with losing Jonah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I like Jonathan. I like Jonathan, and when he came here, I was like, "Yo, this was gonna ball up," which he did.
And he did. Yeah, he did for a bit.
He did. Mm-hmm. But it's like a DP spot. There's better CDMs in the league. That have been playing better that aren't DPs.
Yeah, but see,
that's what I'm trying to say.
But none of those, but none of those CDMs can ping a pass like Jonah though, and that's fact. None of listen, and here's my stand is because it's the recency bias, right? I'm just remembering Jonah last season, and Jonah last season is not a good look. Jonah the season prior to that, Jonah what he's done before that, is why he's a DP player. Here, I'll say this, right? He has to be on either I'm pretty sure it's his last season under contract.
He got a 5-year contract when he signed.
I'm gonna say that's 1 more year, right? But it's coming. Listen, it's coming to an end. He's been big talk about like I want to retire here with you. My man has to. No, listen. If my man has to do something this season, my man really has to do something this season that changes everybody's opinion again. That goes back to El General and Capi Jonah and all that, right? Because it wasn't that this season that just passed, right? It wasn't that like what we looked like. It wasn't that. So he needs to do something better. Remember I was telling you, we're talking about Vanny. He needs to earn that time. Jonah needs to earn that DP money this year, man, and like a big way because he let us down last season. All right, let's move on because I know we talk about this guy forever. Because he's controversial. He should be super dope, but he's not. Let's talk about our attacking players, right? Listen, love it, hate it, rant about it. Fucking troll his stream, whatever you're gonna do. Chicha's here. Chicha's gonna be a starting striker next season. Nothing about that. My opinion is that if he could resemble anything like what he resembled the second to last game of the season where he scored that goal, I think we'll be fine. Right? Let you guys say, your minute or so about Chicha because I want to move on. We talk about him all the time.
He's a striker, troll him, be mad about him, accept him, shit. It is what it is. If you don't like it, stop watching.
After last year, I don't fuck with Chicharito, right? I accept that he's here. My issue is not gonna be Chicharito next year. My issue is gonna be who's gonna support him as striker, because this is a constant fucking issue. Like,
that should have been your issue this season, this last season.
Hey, listen, I don't think it would have made a difference though, because Chicharito was bad. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, because I was with you almost the whole season, George, about like Chicharito, you know, he's dropping down because nobody supports him with you, all these things. But even when he got his chances, he fucking threw him away. Right? So I agree with you. He needs that for sure. If he's gonna be better, he needs that. But last year, it was all him. You know, and I think, again, I understand why nobody's gonna give him the credit that he deserves. But to be fair, like at the end of the year, he came out and said, like, hey, that's on me. I fucked up. Listen, and I think that's the approach.
We were still mad when he said it.
And it's fine. I get it. But I guarantee you, the same people who are mad, as soon as he starts banging in these goals, they're gonna go fucking Prime.
Make sure
fucking Twitch Prime, dog. They're gonna fucking hit him with that sub real quick, dog, and make his money. So
that's funny for I Am Smart Slug.
That's accurate. Listen, Masa, I get what you're saying, and I think you resemble a lot of what the Galaxy community is feeling right now. Where like whether you were happy for him or not, like your expectation for Chicharito last season was a lot better than what he did, and for that simple reason, you don't fuck with him this year, and you're 100% in the right to feel that way.
I feel that way, dog. He could have tried harder. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
the fact is that he gave up on the team, or he didn't fucking want to play. Mm-hmm. That's my issue. Like, if he would have played every fucking minute, scored 2 goals, he could have been fucking ass for all I care. Like he was.
Yeah.
For almost every fucking game. All right, dog. Like it wasn't a good season, and I can't blame you for that because the team played ass. You know, and maybe the chances weren't there, but whatever. But the fact that you came here and like fuck, dog. Like I was hyped as fuck. And you gave up on. You turn your back on the team. You turn your back on your coach. You turn your back on your fucking on the fans, dog. Like you a fucking bitch for that.
Listen,
that's why I have beef with Chicharito, dog.
Man, and I don't think you're wrong, right? I really don't think you're wrong, and I really think you're the voice of most of the community right now. Most of the Galaxy community feel the same way you're feeling.
Before he got here, and then when he got here, it's like, oh, see, it's like,
listen,
you just hated the man. You just ignorant.
Yeah, there's definitely a part of that. There's definitely a part of the community who just always gonna, you know, they strive for the negativity so they could deal with funny tweet to each their own. But there's a big part of the community who wanted GD to do well, man, because he's a fucking G. Right, and he didn't, and for every reason, Masa said, he quit. He let his personal life come into, like, you know, his job. He let the fans down. He talked a big game and didn't step up to it. All that is fair, and you guys should not believe him, right? I just need the whole community. If he does make a change, if he does turn it around, you got to come back with the same energy, though, right? Because he's still a G, and if he helps us get there, like you have to get there. But I don't think you should do it now, though. Like for everybody who feels the way Masa feels, I think you're absolutely correct feeling that way because he was shit last year, right?
Prove me wrong. That's all I want. Prove me wrong, Doug.
But listen, check me out, right? We got Chicharito and Subak. That's it, right? We got Dunbar and Wild, who play more wingers. They play out wide. Maybe you could toss them in striker, but you're not expecting them to be strikers, right? We have to get a striker. Yes? Yes, right?
We've been needing one for years.
Listen, I think Tucker said it best, and I'm not sure if he's. I think we were having a chat, and he said this, but it's been. I think if we don't get a striker this transfer season, it's gonna be 5 transfer seasons. The Galaxy have not been able to bring in a striker, right? Like they just and Subak has been the only backup striker, and they haven't fixed that. So please. Gordon Wild has an option, so. Unless that was declined already, and again, I did a half-ass job looking at our roster, so I apologize for that. But if he's gone, like I mean, that's even less an option, right?
What about if the Galaxy go out and sign a great defender and a great cam? Do we still get a subpar striker? What do we do?
We need a backup striker, no matter
what. Listen. If all the money goes spent on fixing that back line, getting like that high quality cam and some fillers in the midfield. You bring in Augie. You bring up Augie. Because Augie Williams had a fucking beast that season, and he looks like the real deal. I don't want him up yet.
I don't either.
I don't want him up yet. But if what you're saying is like they drop Matt Cash of fixing that back line, and they drop like the rest of the cash to bring in a superb fucking cam. then you have an option in the second team. You really do have an option second team. Again, not my first choice to bring him up because I want this kid to be, our go-to striker for 3-4 years before we sell him to some European club, right?
German club to be specific.
Yeah, in the first league, in the first division, not fucking something burgers. Listen, but so I don't necessarily want to look at him as being the first guy that we look after. Like, okay, Zoggy Williams, right? Because I don't want the kid to have that pressure because that kid is dope. He has mad skill. Let him flourish. Let him really develop. But I think it is a real option if the scenario that George says plays out. It is what it is. Any thoughts on that? Anything else before we kind of finish this off?
Not against it.
We're doomed. 2021.
Chill. Oh my. Dog, swear to God.
You put everything in perspective. Dog, this show made me realize.
You need to feel the power of positivity, baby. It's a new day.
I did last year, dog. Where'd that get me?
Yeah, accurate. Right? No, chill. Hey, dog, don't live in the past. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the present. All right, George, did you see if we got any questions, or did I fuck up and not ask for them? So nobody sent anything in.
Fucked up, but I got one question.
All right, let's bring that up before we close on that.
Should we buy Pavon and loan him out, bring him back when Jonah Dos Santos leaves and we get a pen? If we get Pavon, we should not loan him out. No, we are not. We do not have the luxury. Saul Danger. We do not have the luxury to buy a player like Pavon and loan him out. I don't know if you think that we're Man City or I don't know who you think we are. We ain't got that.
We legit can't afford that. We can't afford that, and I don't mean that in a money situation. I mean we can't afford that as a club not to have one, right? Listen, we can't loan somebody because we loan somebody else doesn't mean that we didn't pay the 10 million. That still hit us. That's still against us. All right. Listen, if you guys didn't join us for the pre-show, the 15 minutes we talked before the game, before the pod, we unfortunately had some sad news. One of our listen, like one of the guys who's been following Straight from the Stands from the jump. I mean, from the very, very beginning. Like Mazza said, somebody we known for over a decade now, truly because of the Galaxy, and it's close with us. Lost his mom recently. Big Will. Again, I think a lot of you guys are gonna know him because he's well known. He's a big part of the community. He lost his mom recently, and they have GoFundMe to try to get his mom a proper burial and send her back to Salvador. If you guys could please donate anything you guys have. And you guys are strapped for cash, as a lot of us are. Please share the link and help my man's alleviate some of that pressure and get his mom a proper burial. I can't imagine what that's like, man. So my heart goes out to him. Thoughts and prayers to your fam, Big Will. We love you. We donated what we could, and I'm hoping we get you some help from the Straight from the Stands community and the Galaxy community to back you up, my guy. That being said, this is the first episode of 2021. We're back. We're going to be consistent. We're going to be here, constantly. Listen, if you guys have thoughts on what we could do differently, what we should be adding on the pod, whether it's this pod or whether we want a different extension of the pod, hit us up. We're definitely looking to try to kind of, change it up, bring some new stuff, not get stale. Hit us up. Give us your opinions. I'm your boy. I'm Smarts. I'm boy Rudy. And I'm my boy Rudy. I'm Smarts on Twitch, Twitter, and IG. Jesus.
George, J7, Twitter, Instagram.
This is why I only say peace, love, and G's up.
You gotta do this shit more often. I forgot to do that, y'all. Peace. Have a good night, man.